In this video, I'm going to share about Trump, okay? My views, my opinions on what's going on, and my suggestions on how to approach what's going on. One of the benefits of having no trustworthy leaders for as long as we can remember is now we have to trust ourselves. We have to trust ourselves. We have to go within, trust each other. And what's good about this is Trump, we hope, is doing the right thing. And what's going on with Trump and his movement is, in my opinion, there's only two ways that this can go. It's either going to be the most epic movement of taking down the cabal and ending the most dark and terrifying practices in the shadows that's ever plagued this earth. Where he's either going to take that down from the top, and there'll be a knock-on effect around the world for the better, okay? We're part of this global awakening. Or what he's doing is going to be the most evil, deceitful, cruel crime against humanity. And honestly, I believe that he's a good person. I really do. I remember my friend who introduced me to the cabal and what they do 10 years ago, good friend of mine. And we followed Trump getting into power, into office. And when he got in, my friend who's been on it a lot longer than me, I remember phoning him when he got in, and I was like, far out. And he said, Nick, I feel like crying. He said, this is the happiest day of my life. Now back then, if we'd have shared that, a lot of people probably would have just not got why. And again, for me back then, I was so happy he got in. It wasn't because it was Trump. For me, it was because the American people had had enough. The American people said no more. And I believe that, you know, at that time, I was already aware of it for 6 years. So I knew what was going on. I knew the digs that they were given to, but he was given to Hillary Clinton. I knew if Hillary Clinton got in, we'd probably all be dead by now. And I'm not even exaggerating there, 4 years on. You know, we'd be living in a very different world. And they never, ever thought it was going to happen. And that leads me to the second part, you see, of this points I want to make, is because one of my good friends asked me, why is Trump gone into hiding right now? Or you're not going to see him again, is what he said. And I don't know the answer to that. But if I was to share what I believe, they need to keep Biden off the telly and out of these rallies, okay? Because one, he's losing his marbles, and two, there is thousands of memes and videos of him being around kids, and everybody knows who he is and what he is and what he does and what he's a part of, what he stands for. They never thought they were going to be in this situation, okay? They never thought that. They thought this was going to be Hillary Clinton's second term, okay? Now, the last thing they've got, and I don't want to put this out there, but the last thing that they can do, you know, they're trying to distract everyone with this COVID nonsense. But the last thing they've got is if Trump just is dead, he can't run for the second term. So I believe that that's why he's really getting out the way, because even though there's a lot of support around Trump, there's They can't. They can't let him get in again because it's all over. So he's got to do what he's got to do, as far as I'm concerned. Another thing is, when we look at Trump, he has been so consistent from day one when he got into the office, even before he became president. He has been so consistent in his message. He's like a broken record. I'm here to stop human trafficking, child trafficking. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to stop that. That is such a powerful message. And people still give him a hard time because they watch the news and listen to the shit on the news, thinking trying to make out he's a moron. He's not stupid. He's not a stupid man. Read his books. I've read The Art of the Deal and things like that. The guy is not an idiot, okay? Is there a chance that Trump is trying to do the right thing, or thinks he's doing the right thing and could be getting manipulated into doing it without him even knowing it? There is a chance of that. I mean, definitely this isn't 100% certain, because the levels of mind control that they have is incredible. It's very subtle, you know what I mean? You look at some of the false flag events, people don't even know they've done what they've done. And, people like Joe Dispenza in the mainstream and some of the researchers and Derren Brown, they've shown and broken down how this is possible with subtle hypnosis. So, I mean, is that a possibility? It is. But the thing is, we, the people, we should support Trump, I believe, and what he's standing for. But we can't all rely on him. And we can't all put all of our faith, because not one person can do it. And it's not empowering to do that neither. It's not empowering to put all of your faith into somebody else. Any true spiritual teacher will try and empower you. And that's what my message is all the time. We need to be empowered. Trust ourselves. Turn off the news. Come together. Unite. I mean, it's almost undeniable what's going on. Excuse me for the harsh images, but, look at these images. And tell me what you think of them. It's undeniable. You've got Lady Gaga mocking the practices that they do, and she's with all the big players. You see, your George Bush Juniors, seniors, your Clintons. It doesn't take a lot of research to find out what these people get up to. So it's coming out. 2020 vision, it's coming out this year. A lot of people are waking up to things I haven't really wanted to share with people for a long time, because I'd have just pushed them the wrong way. And I have pushed people the wrong way, let me tell you, in the past, and I've had to learn my lesson. And another thing is to understand that when Trump got in the first time, I took part in a collective meditation called Elevate the Vote that was put on by Uplift and Unite. It wasn't to get anyone in particular to become president. It was to elevate the vote, the situation. I took a part in that. I meditated for that, and I believe that was what really got him in over the line. Even though I didn't actually intend for Trump, I loved that it was just elevate the vote. It was neutral. And this brings me to how to empower each other, is because we absolutely, whoever's in power is a reflection of the collective consciousness. This is the power, this is the message I've been sharing around Australia, this is the message in the presentation. It is, everything we experience is a manifestation of the collective consciousness. So as we awaken in this time of the Great Awakening, this is why things like this happened in 2016. Trump got in, and you might see a bit of purification process after that. But look what's happening now. Look what's happened in 4 years. Look what's happened since the beginning of 2020. It's really important that we understand that our collective observation and intention absolutely determines what goes on in the world. What a time to be alive. But my point, what I want to get across to empower people is, you're here. Do you want to look back at this time and say, may I just sat in my house with my mask on and my rubber gloves on and, just did as I was told and got the vaccine and watched everyone around me get sick? Or do you want to look back and say, you know what? I was alive for that. And not only was I alive for that, but I took part in that. I stood up for what was right, what was natural, what was right for the people. And I supported the good. I supported what was right. I stood up for what was right. And I led by example for my children. And if you think you're here by accident, you're not. Why would you be here? You're here for this. Don't ever think, I wish I wasn't here, or I wish I was born at a different time. I believe everyone that was born here now has prayed to be here now, in another life. If you know that's coming, I want to go in then. I want to go in and save then. And that's what my message is. Let's just save. I'm going to share a little story. It's not a long story. An Indian woman told me this story, and it was a lovely story. I don't know how the full story goes, but you'll get the gist of it. It's a beautiful story, okay? Someone dies, and their soul goes to heaven, and they see God, Krishna, or whatever you want. They see God. And God says, you don't have to die. You can actually go back into the body. But while you're here, I can show you both heaven and hell. Give you an experience of both heaven and hell. And this soul says, great. He said, what do you want to see first? She said, hell. So takes this soul into this beautiful room with all the best furniture, best table, all the best food out, beautiful food, and all these people sitting around the table, all beautiful people having a laugh and a joke. So she's soul's watching, thinking, what? I thought it was going to be way worse than this. Anyway, what happens then is more food comes out and the cutlery gets brought out. And the knives and forks are like 1.5 meters long, okay? So they're trying to eat their dinner, this beautiful food, with these long knives and forks, and they're cutting themselves, poking themselves in the eyes, and there's blood everywhere. And the soul says, I get it. I don't need to see anymore. It's hard to watch. They're all crying. There's blood everywhere. She says, I'd like to see heaven now. So God takes it out of one room and into another room. It's exactly the same room, exactly the same smell, same table, same furniture, same people sitting around. So the soul's like. So anyway, she doesn't have a clue what's going on. So next minute, they're bringing out food again. She goes, I get it. They're going to bring out knives and forks that are the right size, okay? But when they're bringing out the cutlery, they don't. They bring out the same size knives and forks. So this soul's like, whoa, my head's blown. I haven't got a clue what's going on here. But when they start to eat, the people are using the long knives and forks to feed each other. Same situation. That's the only difference between heaven and hell. One was they're trying to save themselves, and it's getting messy. And in heaven, they're using the same environment to save each other, to feed each other. What a beautiful story that is. So, again, it's not about resisting anything. It's not about fighting anybody. It's about just helping. Just save. Just care for your neighbours and do what's right. Yeah, was it the Dalai Lama said, right is right even if no one's doing it, and wrong is wrong even if everyone's doing it. So I love you all. I'm not saying believe everything I say. In fact, don't believe anything I say. I'm just sharing how I see the current situation with Trump and whatnot, and the importance of the next few months to get behind him getting in again, because, but also keep a close eye. We're all going to know pretty soon if he gets in. Everyone gets taken down. Hey, hooray! It's that's one step, and we and then next minute the agenda's still playing out, we're going to be onto it because everyone's watching him like a hawk. Everyone's watching what's happening like a hawk. So it's not that simple. It's not about leaving it up. It's about supporting what you believe to be right, but it's still doing your own work and uniting because the power is in the people's hands. It's about empowering yourself and empowering each other. I love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.